Hey, Shalom Markins, we come back from Jim Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chachadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom Ahmed there to the hopeful, let's pushing his truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video. You know, this was sent up in the chat by older brother Rakar here, right? And from Wall Street Silver, right? This is a tweet or something, right? It says, the Fed is trapped. Which way will they go? Right? A, raise rates and continue to cause banks to fail, right? Because obviously we're dealing with that right now, right? Or pivot, bail out banks, right? Balance sheets, inflation then runs higher, right? So you got this image here, right? Both roads, both decisions lead to damaging effects, damaging effects, right? And this is what this kingdom is. It's in a it's in a quagmire, right? If that's the right term, right? If that's how you use that word, right? Right, they're in a bit of a conundrum, right? Because no matter what they do, and this is what I was saying in the previous video, there's nothing they can do about this, man. Everything that is going to happen or is happening, anything that they decide to do is gonna end up with the destruction of this kingdom. Okay, that's why it's beautiful to us, man, because there's no possible way this place survives. There isn't one. Not even if Esau wanted to. Even if Esau repented, right, and decided he weren't going to do that, he weren't going to see everybody and he wanted to change it, there's nothing Esau could possibly physically do to stop, the outcome of all of this, right? Because this is all prophecy. This is all the will of the Lord at work, right? Even though Esau, is a tool that is being used to do these things, ultimately it's the will of the Heavenly Father, right? And there is nothing Esau could possibly do to get himself out of the situation that he's currently in, right? And we got that expression between a rock and a hard place, right? And in the scriptures it speaks about the same type of thing, right? And this was said to us, right? And this is from Leviticus 26 verse 19. It says, and I will break the pride of your power, right? And this is something that's happening also to our enemies, because even the scriptures say about the curses that were upon us will come upon our enemies, right, in the latter days, right? And there is a reversal happening. Esau is becoming weaker. The Most High is breaking his power, his strength, his economies, his militaries, his influence. People are finding him less trusting, but you know his lies are being exposed more and more. So the Lord is breaking him down, right? The Lord is breaking him down. Okay, he says, I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. Right? That's the same type of expression between a rock and a hard place, man. They're both hard places to be in. If your heaven's iron and your earth is brass, man, you're between two hard places. Right? Living's gonna be hard. Okay, you're gonna be in a difficult situation, right? And that's Esau's kingdom right now. Esau and Esau's kingdom. Okay, there is nothing that can be done. Okay, like I said in previous, no remedy, uh well, I say band-aid because plasters, man, but that's what these bailouts are. They're like plasters, but it can't stop the hemorrhaging. This place has to be destroyed. It's terminal. It's gonna die, right? So there's nothing that can be done to the left or to the right. Even in this picture, to the left or to the right, it don't matter, right? Damage is gonna be done, big damage, right? And it's gonna end up the same way. All right. So he's Daniel 12:1. Said, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince was standing for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was. Right? This is guaranteed. This is why, like I said, it's beautiful. It's all guaranteed, man. There's nothing that can affect the outcome. All right. This is what is going to happen. Okay, regardless of what Esau does, right? such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book, right? Because this place is going to go to hell, right? And people are going to need saving because people are going to be in distress, right? But the only ones that are going to be saved ultimately are the men of the Lord, the elect, right? These other people out here are going to be looking for pseudo saviors, i.e., Esau and the governments and the MOTB and all this kind of stuff. They're going to be looking to save their lives, but as the scriptures say, they that seek their life shall lose it, right? Because you didn't trust in the Most High's word, right? And so the only people that are going to be really saved out of this are the Lord's elect. Okay, but this time of trouble is fast approaching. Okay, it's nearer than it is further away. You know what I'm saying, right? And you can see all these like these things that are happening, how they're going to lead up to it, man. All right. So Revelation chapter 6 verse 5, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand, and heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Right. So this is talking about crazy inflation, right? So inflation is going to happen one way or another. Okay, but also interest rates are going to destroy a bunch of companies and bring the economy down, right? Either way, right? Both is going to happen ultimately, and there isn't a way around that, right? They raise interest rates, then a lot of business is going to go out, a lot of people are going to lose their houses, and it's going to be shit for the economy, right? But if they bail out and pump all this money into the system, then obviously the price of everything goes up, and people start crying and begging because they can't afford shit. Everything's expensive. Business costs are more expensive, so everything has to go up in price. So it's all damage. It's all damage, but both is going to happen regardless, man, because it's all part of his prophecy here, right? So here he's talking about the crazy inflation, how you know your staple foods, your breads and your eggs, if you can find them, right? They're not so easy to get these days, right? Um, it's lack of supply, but yeah, your staple food like breads are gonna cost you like a day's wages. That's how much it's gonna cost you, right? And that's unsustainable, man. If you're trying to feed a family, you ain't gonna be. You ain't. If you find that your shopping basket's a little bit less, you're spending the same sort of money, but you're bringing home a little bit less. Well, you're gonna find that you're bringing home very little for the same money, or more for more money. You know what I'm saying? You know that's what's gonna happen. Okay. Uh, Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 22, and it tells you here. So, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Okay, your farmlands and that, and they're getting bought up. Farmers are being kind of put out of business in a way, because they are. It's not profitable for them to you know uh produce all their produce, man. Right, because they're not getting paid right, and like I said, the farmlands are being bought up and being destroyed, and the livestock and that. It's all going down the pan. So they're gonna be unsung. All right, so the full storehouses, okay, your supermarkets and whatever, right, shall suddenly be found empty, right? And we experienced a little bit of that during the pandemic, and so with certain, in certain items now even, right? But you're gonna go there and find that nothing's coming. You know what you need, you can't get, right? And if you're able to get, it's gonna be very, very, very costly, right? And that is why this situation is arising, that things are going to be so bad that these governments of the world, right, they're going to take control of all these products and the situation, and ration them to you, right? But you're gonna have to be on the database, on the system. You're gonna have to get the MOTB to be able to buy and sell. All right, that's the whole idea, to create this chaos and this uh perilous situation and use it to their advantage, man, to control the people. You know? And he is Revelation 13:16, and he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right, so it's going to become a requirement for you to be able to even get anything. All right, but this is where like situations like this lead. Okay, the collapse of the economy. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the street. Okay, your businesses are going to close down. So like I said, it doesn't really matter what is decided. You know, the end point is the same. Okay, that's the only part you don't see here. Well, I guess so. It's the same image on either side, isn't it? But both these roads, they lead to the same place. You know? So the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grind is low. Right? So, you know, these banks right now, a lot of them are going to go out. And the knock-on effect is going to be, you know, all these companies and businesses that they were supporting, you know, with their money and that kind of stuff, they're going to go under too. Right? SVB got a bailout, right? And these companies have been able to get their money back, but not everybody's going to be so lucky. Right? And so there's going to be a lot of closures. It's been happening, right? There's been notable closures of certain stores and whatever. Even just recently here in the UK, we got what they call dollar stores, pound stores. You know, I know you got the dollar stores over in the US and whatever, but we got pound stores here, right? Like the cheap stores, right? And they're having to close down certain locations and that because, well, yeah, they're struggling. Right, they're struggling, and them things been used hell a lot, man, during the pandemic and you know all these times because you know inflation and that because people are poor. But even they're having to close some locations down, man, showing you that they're struggling. You know, so even the poor can't even get the cheap goods. I think it was Iceland and B&M and or something like that, right? So yeah, not even the poor can't even get access to cheap stuff. Well, it'd be hard to get access to cheap stuff, man, because even these businesses can't keep open, right? So the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Okay, the work. Okay, unemployment, mass unemployment coming, more unemployment coming. You know, I saw US show, put up their job numbers or whatever, the employment numbers or whatever, and then you know they always talk about, oh, we've increased it, and yeah, increased it for the shit jobs probably. You know, and all that how they measure it is all funny anyway, man. You know, to fudge the numbers, but yeah, you know, the grind is low. All right. So these shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Pardon me. All right. So all of this is going to happen regardless. All right. It's from 2nd Ezra chapter 15, starting from verse 5. Right. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." Right? And this is what the Lord is doing. The Lord is launching an attack on Esau's kingdom, man, on the system, right? To break it. All right. So Egypt shall mourn. Okay, mourning is inevitable. Right? People are going to be down bad, and you know it's been getting worse for people. Obviously, you know, people will be using more and more using food banks, and say people losing their houses and stuff like that. You know, people losing their jobs. You know, the pandemic was forcing people out of jobs and stuff. You know, some of them good jobs. You know what I mean? And like, it's not spoken about too much these days. They're not, you know, they're not. It's not a focus no more. Okay, they've moved on from that. But people like are hurt from all of that. That's already happened. You know. But there's more hurt and more pain to come. Okay, more job losses, more people going to the food bank and all kinds of stuff, man. You know. Um, so Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall send upon it. It says, the day that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail for the blasting and hell with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right? So, whoa, destruction's coming. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right? People are going to become unruly. Okay, when things get, you know, into a certain condition, you know, and you know, when it gets bad. Okay, they become unruly and you know, take actions into their own hands. Right? It says, for there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? So they're not going to be listening to their authorities, man. Like I said, they're going to become unruly. Okay, they're going to be aggressive, angry, hateful towards one another. As the scriptures say, the hearts of many shall wax cold, man. People are not going to be the same as they are today, man. Right? It's going to be desperation. All right, and desperation does things to people, man. Especially when their stomach's empty, right? This is They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? So, hey, obviously, you know, when you know, violence and chaos and anarchy are hitting the streets and whatever, the government are gonna step in to try and control that, right? So, you know, they're gonna lock off cities, they're gonna send troops in, martial law, right? They're gonna do those things, all right? So man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Alright? So again, no matter what road is taken, man, that's where it can lead to great tribulation. Great chaos in the world, man. Famine and death. Alright, I want to close up with this one. Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 1 it says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia, woe unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair, bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Right, so Esau's kingdom is, you know, like I said, the destruction is at hand. All right, so the sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it have begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Okay, it's like the cup, the cup of the Lord, right? He can't when he sent that cup to the nation, they can't refuse to drink, man. They're gonna, surely ye shall drink it. Like, it's not up for, you haven't got any choice in the matter. It's not up for debate. Okay, and again, Esau is gonna make every move that he's supposed to end his, you know, end in his destruction. There isn't anything he can do. Okay, he is stuck by prophecy just like everybody else is, man. That's why there is no free will, because prophecy has to be fulfilled. There is no real free will. Otherwise, destinies and fates and, you know, all these prophecies could be changed, and they can't. So there's no real free will. We're all on the course that we're supposed to be on. Esau's going to lead himself and others to destruction, and the elect are going to be led to salvation, man. You know, that's just what it's going to be. Right? Like the elect have been predestined, predetermined. Right? That can't be changed. Esau's destruction in his kingdom, it can't be changed. Right? It's all going down. Right? So everything is under the control of the Heavenly Father, man. But us as worms, like, you know, incomparable to the Lord, don't know shit. We don't understand nothing. Just like, you look at insects and bugs, you see them walking on the floor. They don't understand what's going on up here at our level. You know, they ain't got the slightest clue. You know, and it's the same way. Like we're in like, we've been put in the earth. Given some kind of ability to think and reason and stuff like that, right? And we think that we somehow on a higher level, you know, because we got posable thumbs, right? On a higher level, right? But you don't understand, the realm of the Most High. Like he says, my ways are higher than your ways. We're not able to even contemplate really, like how the Lord does or see things. Now we get an insight because we've got the scriptures, and we're told. But ultimately, man, we're just worms. Okay, we don't, I say we don't have, like, we have the illusion of free will, but like everything is controlled. Everything's like, I know I'm going on a bit now, man, but like let's just say, you got some big ass glass container, right? You fill it with a bunch of sand or mud or whatever, right? You put worms in it, right? This worm ain't gonna know that it's in a fucking glass cage. You know what I mean? That you're controlling, the food the nutrients is getting and the sunlight is getting and the water is like you don't know. You don't know. It's the same as we are. Anyway, enough of that. All right. Verse 9, right? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, and the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, right? When all these prophecies are fulfilled and these missiles, right, these ICBM missiles and nuclear missiles and all kinds of missiles, right, are being shot at America, man, because America is the other side of the earth from where we were in the Middle East, or whatever they called it, right? These are just terms that they use, right? But yeah, that's on the other end, right? So the Lord is gonna shoot arrows literally in the form of these missiles, right, into the land of America, man, to destroy it and make it a lake of fire. All right, to show the Lord's power in the earth. All right, it says behold, the plagues are sent, I shall not return again until they come upon the earth, right, till they fulfilled their purpose. Right, and that's why the plagues slack not, right? All these plagues and these pestilences and these judgments, man, they're going to continue coming, and a frightening at a frightening pace, breakneck speed, right? They're going to become more frequent and more devastating as time goes on. Like I said, we have to get to that time of trouble, right? Right now, life is still somewhat, quiet, but it ain't gonna be, and so events have to take place to bring this kingdom down, the kingdom and its people to its knees, man, right, and put them in that state of despair. Okay, because that's what the Lord's gonna do, right? It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Because even Ezra is like, rah, like, how the hell, like, am I gonna deal with all of that, right? So behold, famine and plague, because the Lord it's like the Lord's throwing everything in the kitchen sink at everybody, man. The Lord ain't gonna hold back. The Lord is gonna bring every type of judgment, right? You know, at his disposal. You know what I mean? Everything that you've ever seen or ever witnessed or ever read about, the Lord is gonna bring it to you, man. All the plagues of Egypt. You're gonna have massive, great earthquakes. You're gonna have chariots. You're gonna have, famine, death, pestilence, plagues. You know, people going mad, just great violence everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Volcanoes, volcanoes erupting, hurricanes, tsunamis, everything. Like I said, the lightnings and the thunder. You're gonna get all of that. You know. This is Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not return from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, they shall think themselves to be in good case, right? Yeah, it was once true, right? And it's becoming less so. But even now, it's still gonna be affordable in comparison to, you know, the time that we're heading into, or when this place collapses, right? So even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword of famine and great confusion. Right, so they were once cheap and everything seemed to be, gravy or whatever, man. But things have gotten worse, and they continue to get worse. All these things we've been through for the last few years, people thought, oh, after on the other side of it, things are gonna go back to normal. No, it's like we've been telling you, things ain't going back to normal, man. Okay, there is new normals being created, right? You ain't going back to your previous normal. No, you're being conditioned to accept a new reality, right? And that reality is gonna get more and more dark, more and more, or more and more crazy, right? Until you can't really deal with that reality anymore, man. When it is that bad. You wake up crying, you know what I mean? Just crying every fucking day because fucking things have gone terribly wrong, you know what I'm saying? And you just don't know what the fuck to do, you know? That's gonna be a state that everyone's gonna be in, man. Everyone's gonna be fearing in that day. Hella confused, don't know what the hell's going on, fearing for their lives, you know? Wondering where they're gonna, get the next meal from. How they're gonna feed their children and stuff like that. How you're gonna protect your family, how you're gonna protect, bro, it's gonna be peak, right? As we say over here, right? It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish with famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right? So yeah, you think you got food, you think you're okay. Oh, you don't think you got to worry about famine? Fine. The Lord send the sword after you. It's all right. The Lord can do that, right? But a lot of people are going to die of famine. All right. So the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. So all these cities are going to experience, dread. You know what I mean? And it's going to just be crazy, right? Desolate, destroyed, unsafe, all right? And that's what I really want to get, because that's what's gonna go down. No matter which way Esau decides, what decisions he make, what way he decides to turn, and what he plans to do next, or doesn't matter. Because Esau thinks that these paths that these decisions that he makes leads to him, obtaining an everlasting kingdom, man. He legitimately thinks that. He thinks bringing all this chaos and he thinks it leads into an everlasting kingdom. Okay, where he's got complete rulership over the people, man. That's what he believes. But where it literally ends with what these images are showing you, man, just gloominess, right? But there's destruction. Maybe they should have put some mushroom clouds at the end of these ones. But that's where he saw, his end lays. Okay, with being destroyed, America being destroyed, and like I said, he can't do nothing to avert that. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say shalom. All this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.